Welcome, everyone, to the global consulting organization FutureCast. This is our multimedia platform for 2030 and beyond, reimagining the future of real estate, where we share the ideas, inspirations, and ideals that will become the foundation for the future built environment. I'm Amit Egan Datwani, the founder and chief consultant of Global Consulting Organization, and on behalf of my fellow members of the GCO Collective, welcome you to this week's edition of the FutureCast. For those who've been closely following our journey, you may know that our industry is now buzzing about design brand build and the potential of a truly integrated real estate development model to supercharge commercial office buildings and live, work, stay and play development projects. Last quarter, we officially introduced the concept to the industry with a symposium that was co-hosted by HKS architects at their Miami office. I was joined by my colleagues from a variety of notable companies, and we had a lively discussion about the importance of brand in commercial and residential real estate, featured projects they are working on, and the overall connection of those ideas to the design brand build model. This innovative concept is just in its infancy stages. And after the 3 recent events that we organized in New York and Miami, we've now turned our focus to putting the ideas into action. And I'm going to take some time on this FutureCast to give you an overview of some of the major themes we are currently developing. As many of you know, some may say it's brutal out there. High interest rates, high inflation, banks collapsing, vacant office buildings, $2 trillion in loan maturities coming due by 2027, 900 million square feet of office space that have leases expiring by 2025, tenants seeking rent relief and requiring significant TI packages to secure a deal, retail and office property valuations plummeting, housing shortages, potential fines looming for owners who don't comply with energy standards starting in 2025, record commercial property insurance costs, many businesses still grappling with a new hybrid work model. And on top of all of this, experts say we are still not officially in a recession. If you are still listening after digesting all of that, I congratulate you. And I know that you know this is all happening for a reason. For those that receive our weekly newsletter, have read our blog articles, or tune in regularly to our FutureCast, you know that we are not going to stay stuck in that energy. And there is more to the story, which I will now get to. So I'm curious, how many of you are starting to sit back and think about the reason that this may be happening in your life? How many of you have realized that this could be the greatest opportunity we have ever been presented with to completely reimagine the future of our industry and in turn transform the human experience on planet Earth? For those that have been working in commercial real estate for quite some time, you know that the industry is not exactly very welcoming to the idea of the C word, change. But at this point in time, many are starting to realize that there is no choice. Think about how the pandemic has completely transformed many of our working lives and given us the ability to work from home. Just think back to where you might have been only 3 years ago and where you are now. For many, that change is mind-blowing. Now take that thought process and start to connect the dots and realize this may have been the silver lining in the pandemic, as this seismic shift would not have been possible without the pandemic. Fast forward your thinking and translate it to today's world. One of the biggest concerns we hear about from our clients is what I see as the ultimate blank canvas: vacant office buildings. This snowball is just starting to gain momentum and is going to be a major avalanche in the very near future. And I think you have to ask yourself, are you going to be holding on for dear life to the past and where we have been for generations? Or are you going to go boldly into the future and take this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reimagine the potential of the built environment with ideas like design, brand, build to transform spaces into places? This watershed moment of transition and transformation is a major inflection point in the metamorphosis that we must experience to recreate life here on planet Earth in 2030 and beyond. The future is going to be full of opportunities to develop exciting visions to sell and stories to tell as we embrace a period of time that I liken to what retail has gone through with this department store model since the year 2010, when there were over 8,000 department stores in the United States, a number that is now expected to be closer to 4,000 stores by the second half of this decade, if not sooner. Fear not, as there have been some amazing experiential retail concepts that have come to take the place of the department stores, such as Whole Foods, Lifetime Fitness, Apple, REI, Dick's Sporting Goods, and most recently, my favorite, Pickleball America, which is taking over a former Saks off of Fifth Avenue space in Stamford, Connecticut, with 28 indoor pickleball courts. So you may be thinking, what the heck does this have to do with vacant office buildings? Well, everything. I go back to my earlier point. Think about how much you have changed since the beginning of the pandemic to now. Now think about how little the built environment has shifted since the beginning of that time. Not that much. These two factors are not in alignment, and they must recalibrate. Human consciousness has expanded and transformed, and the built environment has not. I repeat, human consciousness has expanded and transformed, and the built environment has not. The time has now come to play catch-up. In order to do that, we must start afresh with a clean slate in the form of vacant office buildings that may be better designed and utilized as residential buildings that enhance our ability to work from home, or office buildings that are inspired by a residential way of life and provide a greater sense of comfort, convenience, and overall feeling of well-being. Wouldn't it be interesting if traditional central business districts become known as central living districts and were designed to help humans achieve the highest and best quality of life? Think about how much time and effort we spend on addressing the external and how little we spend on addressing the internal. I mean, what is the point to life if we are not happy? What if we could design our buildings, neighborhoods, communities, and ultimately our cities to help us achieve what we are all after? Happiness. I realize that goal may seem a little out of left field or far-fetched, but I do feel it's important to share with you the ultimate vision and goal we are striving towards with our work. Imagine creating a residential or office building brand best suited for the times, and it becomes as well known as the Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton hotels. Imagine if we were able to create brand loyalty incentives and programs like credit card companies do for our tenants, or be inspired by Delta Airlines lounges designed to generate customer goodwill. After all, the ideas would be geared towards enhancing the greatest business on planet Earth, the human experience. I realize that many deals are not penciling out right now, and conversions are not such an easy process, but It's just a matter of time before all of this changes and incentives are introduced, because cities also need the tax revenue, and sitting with vacant buildings does not do anyone good. Manhattan, which has close to 500 million square feet of office, has almost 100 million square feet of it sitting vacant. That's more space than the entire city of Miami has in its total office inventory. Think about that. It has opportunity written all over it. Let's please stop moving in the direction of FTWO, forced to work in the office, as we are now seeing companies do. Let's work collectively and put our thinking hats on and embrace the opportunity to provide citizens of this planet to have a more comfortable setup at home for days that they want to WFH, work from home. How about we take inspiration from the success of hospitality brands and translate that feeling into the commercial real estate industry by developing brands that help to reimagine purpose, transform potential, and help humans to feel well taken care of. After all, isn't that the purpose of hospitality? Let's do our best to avoid being the next Kodak, Blockbuster, and BlackBerry. We must not fail to adapt to the changing environment. When thinking about the future, please consider the importance of an exciting and forward-thinking vision to sell and a story to tell that effectively energizes projects and inspires action by captivating audiences and activating emotion. Let's take that positive energy and use it to supercharge vacant office buildings and the live, work, stay, and play development projects of the future. I thank you for tuning in to today's FutureCast and taking into consideration some of the ideas, inspirations, and ideals that we believe will become the foundation for the future built environment. Cheers to 2030 and beyond.